Madame?
Okay, so Trudy, you've been with us before, and Norma, you've certainly been with us before. You've been on every one that we've done thus far, right?
Yep.
So just so you're aware, in the bottom, depending if you have an iPad or if you have a regular PC, in your bottom right left-hand corner, you have your microphone and your video camera. So if at any point you want to speak, just make sure your microphone is turned on. Turn off your cell phone so you're not interrupting. And at the end of this meeting, there will be a survey sent to you that we ask that you fill out as to whether you enjoyed this, what you would like to see in the future, any changes you think that would be beneficial. Claire loves feedback.
Oh. And the feedback has just been very positive, actually. Very recommended. And
I'm going to start sharing my screen. Today we are going to be talking about balancing life. A balanced approach to mental wellness. Boy, that sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Very.
I like the scenery.
Yeah. So a little bit of background information. Most of you have heard this before, but grandly, I'm part of the Canadian Mental Health Association of Canada. Okay. So we've been around since 1918, which is a little bit older than I am. It's a nationwide leader and champion for mental health. What CMHA does is it helps people access the community resources that they need to build a resilience and support recovery from mental illness. So myself, I'm part of a CMHA of New Brunswick, which is all encompassing of New Brunswick. We have 18 locations provincially. So we have offices in Fredericton, Moncton, and St. John. Fredericton is our provincial headquarters. Moncton has a large office, and they even have walk-in psychologists there, so that's great. And St. John has another office. The rest of us, in 11 different locations scattered throughout the rural parts of New Brunswick, are something called community education coordinators. So I cover all of Zone 7, except for during pandemics, in which case we cover New Brunswick. We have provincial peer support programs, and we have employment programs. And the employment programs really are in the Charlotte County area. And we know that when people are employed, their mental health is better. So we have a table of contents. We're going to talk about balance. We're going to talk about balancing life. We've got a nice quote. And remembering mental health is health. Oh my word. If I could ever convince anybody of anything, it is that mental health is health. We got to stop separating everything into categories and just look at the big picture. I know you all agree with me, so let's move on. Okay, so the impacts of holistic health on wellness, mental, emotional, physical, social, spiritual. Really, it's about balancing life. And it is a balancing act, and we need to practice. So, what is balance? If we look it up in the dictionary, this is Oxford Dictionary, okay? We look at the nouns. It's an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. So you're not staggering all over the place, right? You're balanced. Or a condition in which different elements are equal or in correct proportions. So if I'm holding, let's do a book in this hand and a book in this hand that are of the same weight, they're balanced, correct? But if I hold this and this, they are not balanced. This cup is much heavier than this book. And then we have the verb. It's to keep or to put something in a steady position so that it does not fall. It's kind of what we're going to talk about. The verb. How do we keep balanced? Sounds exciting, I can tell. Look at Trudy. She's very excited.
Yes, I'm very interested in balance. Okay.
Well, you know what? And we all should be.
Yes.
When you do things like your neurobics, really a lot of it is about balance, isn't it?
Yes.
So we have the practical balance. We have challenges like our emotional, mental, physical, social, and spiritual. And in the center, we have the well-being. And then on the other side, we have the resources for your emotional, mental, physical, social, and spiritual. So for each challenge, in order to keep it balanced, we need to have the resource for that particular thing at the ready so that we can balance them out and it meets in the middle for our well-being. Does that make sense?
Very much, yes.
So this is a quote by Joshua Osanga. I hope he doesn't hear me pronounce his name. So he says, balance is a feeling derived from being whole and complete. It's a sense of harmony. It is essential to maintaining quality in life and work.
Love that. Love
Write it down, Trudy, if you want to. I'll wait.
I'm trying to, yes.
Just yell at me when it's done. And it really is a sense of harmony. When everything feels like it falls into place, that we're not feeling overwhelmed or stressed or harried, but everything is in harmony, that's balance.
Okay, got it.
So there are 5 aspects to holistic health. We have mental, emotional, physical, social, and spiritual. Now you can't imagine, I'm going to leave it right there. We're going to talk about each one of those things because y'all know me, I love to talk. So may as well do what you're good at, right? So we need to remember mental health is health. Can you all repeat after me? Mental health is health.
Mental health,
is health. Imagine.
Why do we say that? Why do we say that mental health is health?
Because it's disconnected in real world.
Well, actually, it's totally connected. And I say that, you ever hear the old song, hip bones connected to the thigh bone, thigh bone? Everything is connected. And last time I checked, my brain was in my head. Is your brain in your head?
Oh, sometimes I walk on it.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Nonetheless, it's still in your body.
Brain is in the head. The mind is in other areas as well.
There you go.
Yes.
It can be, for sure. But is our head connected to our neck? Yes. Is our neck connected to our shoulders? Yes.
Absolutely.
Are our shoulders connected to our arms? Yes. We are connected throughout, correct?
Yes.
So I choose to say mental health is just health. Yes, it's treated in a different way, but you know what? Your diabetes is treated differently than your arthritis.
That's right.
So mental health just needs to be treated in a different way, but it's still health. So the impacts of holistic health on wellness. So this is those 5 things we talked about, mental. So one aspect of holistic health is our mental health, which often often overlaps with both our emotional and our physical health. So there are ways that we can support our mental health. We can keep your mind active by seeking out learning opportunities and problem-solving practices that challenge your brains. Sounds good, right?
Very good.
Mhm.
You can eat a well-balanced diet that's high in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids because they help reduce overall inflammation and can support cognitive functioning.
I had my omega-3 this morning.
Good for you. And we can avoid excessive drinking, smoking, or consuming of recreational drugs. So they say the major distinction between our mental and emotional health is that while our emotional health refers mostly to our daily mood and emotions, our mental health refers to our cognitive abilities that affects our brain functions. Okay? That all makes sense?
Very much so.
So then we look at emotional. And this is so true. Our emotional health is often overlooked, but it's just as important as our physical health, especially because our emotional health can affect our physical health if not prioritized. So there are ways you can support your emotional health. Utilize therapy when needed. And perhaps keeping a journal to record your thoughts and feelings. So therapy is a key part of supporting our emotional health and should be accessed whenever necessary. Why do we look at therapy as derogatory? Like, if we needed to see a dietitian for our diabetes, we'd do it, right? Why do we think it's not okay to seek a therapist for our emotional health?
It's most natural, I think. Most natural to do that.
It is most natural. Most people don't, though.
Mhm.
So they say practice mindfulness, and we talked about mindfulness 2 sessions ago, right? And notice that I said the word practice because it does take practice. Yep. Norma?
That's why they call it a mindfulness practice.
Yeah,
Yes.
Norma is the 5 all alone. We're 4
Yeah.
on the screen and Norma is in the back. Poor Norma.
Well, I just took myself off the screen and put Norma in.
You did.
It depends where you are. 'Cause
Yes.
I see all of you.
I see all of you too. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Norma, do you remember you asked me when we did the mindfulness session,
Mm-hmm.
what is the best thing that you can put into practice
Yeah,
immediately? And I said breathing, right?
very much so.
So is it natural to sit and concentrate on your breathing? No, that's something that we need to think about and practice doing. Now, the more we do it, the better we get at it and the easier it comes. But it doesn't happen overnight. You need to train your mind to do that. So it takes practice. Everything that we do that's a positive coping skill takes practice. Our first inclination is not run to the positive coping skills. No, the first inclination is, oh, what am I going to do? But if we practice utilizing our toolboxes, our positive coping skills, we can get better at it. They say practice makes perfect.
Yes, what I find, it helps us respond rather than react to things by practicing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always say, Trudy, it's about action, not reaction.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
So, trying you need to try things over and over again. Stress reduction habits can help you better manage life's daily stressors. We have stressors in our life daily. Some of them bigger than others, but we have stressors in our lives daily. They say use your journal to record what you are grateful for, as it can help bring positivity into times of stress. We need to look for the positive. And as we practice looking for the positive, we get better at finding the positive. Not everything is all negative. There is positive in everything. Sometimes it's harder to find, but it's there. And the more we practice finding it, the better we get at finding it. You all with me?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's talk physical. Physical health is what most people think about when they think about health. While supporting your physical health, there are a few practices that can benefit everyone. So the red theory, okay? R, rest. E, exercise. D, diet. Rest, exercise, and diet are three components that are essential to your physical health. They're essential to your mental health. They're essential to your emotional health. They're essential to every aspect of your health. You don't get enough sleep, what are you like? You might be okay for one night. Yeah, miserable. Claire, stop emailing her at 11 to 12. Just saying.
We've done that often, Claire and I.
Oh, we have to stop it, Trudy, she says.
Yes, have a cutoff point. My day is done here for this aspect. You need to learn to differentiate, all of us, not just you guys. I'm preaching to the choir here. But we need to learn to differentiate and to categorize our lives so that we have time for everything. And you know what? Sometimes you may have to schedule in stuff at first, but you'll get better at it so that it becomes an important part of your life and things that you want to do, right? And what's the other thing that I have written in here? I have to keep moving, you guys, because and unprescribed substances. So what would I mean by unprescribed substances?
Water?
It's limiting the unprescribed substances and utilizing those personal medicines that work for you, those positive coping skills that allow you to enjoy life. You know what? Life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is not meant to be survived. It's meant to be thrived.
Yes.
Okay? We don't want to just make it through another day. We want to enjoy each and every day. You all with me?
Agreed.
I see Claire thinking like, what is she saying?
No, I'm listening.
So as far as exercise goes, just 30 minutes a day is enough to keep you active regularly. Nobody's saying you have to go to the gym and lift weights for 30 minutes, but maybe get out and gardening, maybe going for a walk, maybe riding a bike, maybe doing aerobics. Huh, Trudy?
How about Qigong?
Yes.
Whatever floats your boat. And seriously, that's it. You have to enjoy the things that you're doing or you're not going to do it.
That's right.
Find stuff you enjoy and plug yourself in, because it will recharge you. Ooh, that was good. Plug yourself in, it will recharge. You like it?
Yes, write it down. Memorize it. It sounds good.
So when you're eating, we need to eat well So we need a nutrient-dense, well-balanced diet. Lots of antioxidants, lots of good proteins, lots of omega-3s, all the stuff that our bodies need, right? And we need to sleep.
Green leafy vegetables.
Yeah, lots of folic acid. You know, there's lots, good roughage, good, all that stuff. So the other thing is, when we talk about rest, we need on average 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day. There are a few people who can do it with less, but the average person needs 7 to 9 hours daily. We cut it in the middle and say they need 8 hours a night. But you know what your body needs. Most people require 7 to 9 hours. Why do I keep saying that? Because some of you focus on 4 and 5 and 6 hours. It's not enough. Just saying. Okay. We get to talk about a fun one next. You ready? Social. The happiest people on earth have deep connections with their friends, family, and community. So what ways can we support your social health? We can make time for in-person connection. Okay, I get it. We're going through COVID. Bit of an issue. And yeah, we're doing it this way, but this isn't the same as making, now we can include close friends. Our bubble has opened a little bit, right? And as long as we don't go crazy and, you know, that's not a good term, but as long as we don't break all kinds of rules and do things that we shouldn't be doing, we can now have some in-person connection. Get involved in your local community. Volunteering, being on boards, helping out with the food bank or SPCA, or just helping your neighbor bring his groceries in. Getting involved in your local community. Set boundaries with people in your life that may increase stress or bring toxic energy. Not all of our relationships are healthy. So start weeding out the toxicity in your life and bring in some positive people. We feed off of positivity. We also feed off of negativity. We don't want negativity. So let's choose who we feed off of. Sound good? So spiritual. Now, this is the one that most people tend to ignore. Well, I'm not a very religious person. Well, I'm not asking you to be religious. Spiritual wellness does not necessarily mean that you need to become religious. Instead, your spiritual health should focus on how you are connecting with your inner soul and the greater world around you. So ways that you can support your spiritual health: spend time in nature. Spend a few minutes each day meditating. And take the time to practice your faith, whatever that may entail. Still with me? So, balancing life. Do you remember? We talked about your challenges and your resources and the well-being in the middle. How do we find the resources to match up to our challenges? How do you suggest we do that?
I know
Wonderful.
in some cases it's good to look at your values and see what they are and match that with your activity.
for sure. All over this province, there are scattered all kinds of different agencies, organizations, groups that can fill these resources. The goal is to match up you with the right one, right?
Right.
Because if you join something that's not going to feed you, that's not doing it, right?
Right.
And I'm not talking about steak and potatoes, but feed you emotionally and spiritually and mentally and physically and socially, all those things.
Sometimes we can stay with what nurtures us, right? Like
Yes,
whatever nurtures us.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I know this is going to shock you, but brace yourselves. I'm a little bit of an extrovert.
But that's good to recognize.
What are you guys laughing about?
Well, it's the shock.
Some of us
It's good to
are
know.
very much introverts.
Yeah, I know a few.
I recharge by being around people and engaging and like, holy cow, talking to you guys, it's like the best medicine in the world to me. It totally is. I'll walk away from here going, oh, that was good. I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah.
And I was pretty stressed coming into this because life isn't easy right now. Okay. For others of you, the idea of doing something like this right now, you'd be like, oh my word, how am I going to do this? Because you do not get charged from other people. You recharge being alone and quiet. And so you need to find the right fit of activities so that it fills you. You're still able to give, but it fills you. Make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it is a balancing act. When one area of our life is out of balance, our life is out of balance. If we look at the scale, weights and counterweights, it's only when we're in balance that it's sturdy and stable. The same is true for our lives. When one area of your life is out of balance, or wobbly and unstable and unbalanced. Balance doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. Small steps, small changes. Embrace the steps and changes. Start one step at a time. And before you know it, you're leading a much more balanced lifestyle and reaping the rewards. So you can't go back and make a new beginning, but you can start today and make a new ending. Stay positive, stay focused, and stay strong. Do you have any questions for me?
I really like that last slide.
Yes. I did too, yes.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, wrong one. I'm going the wrong way. Hang
I
on,
don't-
back up.
That almost looks like you, Rachel.
You think?
Well, I don't know what I did.
Oh,
Hang on, I'm fixing it.
I really liked it. It has a lot of meaning. And,
Yes.
and
I went too far. I'm good.
It was,
I'm
I
bringing
thought-
up that slide.
I thought it was an excellent presentation, Natalie. I really enjoyed it, but I want to apologize because I felt a little more liberty today just to speak. Like normally when I'm on these things, I raise my hand if I want to speak, but I didn't do that today.
Listen, there's only a few of us. I'm fine.
Yes.
You don't need to apologize.
Okay.
You know what? Again, extrovert here.
Yes.
Interaction, that's all about me. I love that.
Okay.
I actually thought she was going to sing today.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
You keep asking her to sing.
Yeah, I did. I know that's the first time.
Nope, it's not.
No, it's not, no. I'll give you a question, Natalie.
Sure.
You must have heard the saying, because I've heard it so many times, there's only 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you balance it all out? Now, in some of your previous presentations, I've asked you the question, if you can give me one piece of advice. Because I think the key in terms of being able to balance in all of this is the ability to be able to say no.
Absolutely.
And women have difficulty with that. Not that I want to be gendered in the conversation, but we do have difficulty in saying no. So one piece of advice that you can give us that leads us to a better balanced life. I was going to say work in life, but I don't
Okay.
work anymore.
So Norma, you said it yourself. Start practicing. No.
Oh, yeah, but they don't accept the no.
Oh, yes, they do. I had somebody contact me yesterday who said to me, do you think you could do a little icebreaker at the beginning? And I said, no. Normally I would, because you know what? I'm all over that, truthfully. And not that I mean to drag up a lot of stuff, but my husband's very unwell right now. And the simple fact that I came and did this was a huge thing. I love doing it, and it really does recharge me. But the idea of leaving the hospital was not my number one thing to do. So when I was asked to add more to it, I went, yeah, no. That's big for me. That's like massively big, because normally I'd sit there, okay, now what am I going to do? And I'd have figured it out. But I've been practicing saying no.
And you're setting your
It's hard.
priorities. Yeah, you're setting your priorities.
And there's one other piece I'd like to give you. You know what? The stuff that will still be there tomorrow, leave it till tomorrow. You don't have to do it today.
Natalie, something.
I'm not advocating procrastination, but if you can't fit it in, you can't fit it in.
Natalie, something that I've been working on, and I thought it was a good suggestion from something else I was doing, is if you're planning to make a change, it's often wise to kind of talk to your family or talk to whomever you need to speak to about the fact that you're doing this, and that you would really appreciate their support, you know?
Yes.
And kind of announce that that's what's happening, you know, so then they're not shocked if you just
That's
change
right.
all of a sudden. Yes.
I mean, it's totally different if I was to say to Claire, no, I can't do that, as opposed to somebody who's really close to me, who's accustomed to me doing it all the time, right?
Yes.
And Claire was very understanding. But it still was difficult because I'm not a no person.
I know. So you've guessed who asked her to do that.
We all know you, Claire.
Well, you hung your head. They knew.
But I appreciated that I appreciated the honesty around it, and the measured no.
Yeah, and you accepted it very well.
Well, yes, yeah.
But it's still tough on a yes person to say that.
Oh, I agree. And I find that, but I don't do it though. I find that if you set your limits in advance and you describe them clearly, your chances of keeping that, either the yes or the no, is greater. But I guess I've shied away from doing it because I guess I have that same difficulty of saying yes or no.
Well, you know what? Most extroverted people struggle that way because we love doing. We love being out there. And so it's hard to say no.
Mhm.
It is.
Well, definitely.
And we hate to disappoint.
Well, you know, as soon as you see an opportunity, and if you're inclined to be an opportunist, well, then you see opportunities everywhere, and then it, you know, that the rest follows through.
So, but that being said, practice the no.
Yeah.
And allow things to wait. Very few things are life and death.
You're absolutely right. And I kind of like Claire's words in the context of setting limits, because even with the yes or the no, there are limits that come with it. And there again, without wanting to be very gendered, we as women have difficulty setting those limits, whether it comes from family, whether it comes from, for those of you who are still in a work environment, from work, or even in retirement with all of the volunteer commitments that you've taken on. So it's an issue of setting limits, but it's also an issue of, and I think at one point you mentioned it in your presentation, Natalie, it's almost scheduling time for yourself. In order to be able to fill that toolbox with whatever resources you need, and to recalibrate or rebalance, because sometimes we can go off kilter a little bit. So
we can. The goal is when we find ourselves starting to go off balance, because we do, is to grab the bull by the horns and get back in balance.
just like we do an oil change to our cars, we kind of need to do that for us as well.
Well, we have gadgets now to control the speed to which our cars go, but yet we don't use that same type of gadget to limit our the amounts of yes and the no's that go with it.
So I hope you guys found this beneficial today.
Oh, very much. Yes.
You did a good job, Natalie.
Very much, Natalie, and obviously we thank you very much. You've been very, very generous of your time, because you've given a few of our most
I love doing
treasured
them.
talks.
Like, I am. Let me talk. I'll do it.
You're good at it too.
And obviously we'll be thinking of you, and we're sending positive thoughts your way. And
I'm sorry to hear that your husband's not doing so well.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but we have faith it's going to turn around.
Oh, good.
it will. It will. And
We're sending you good thoughts.
Yes.
is that your dogs
Yes, they
in the
want out.
background?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
ignoring them. You can too.
Their limits, I wish I was closer, I would open the door. Their limits is pretty well spread out now.
Yeah, well, they've been out more, and that's part of the problem. They've been out more today than normal,
Yes. Okay.
so they like it.
Yes, and the weather's getting nicer and nicer and nicer, so they'll want to spend more time outside. But again, thank you. And well, we all know that we will be receiving an appreciation sheet, and we should provide our comments with it. Now, Thursday is with Marie-Cécile, and that's Équilibré, which is French counterpart of Natalie's talk today. Next week, we start with Ignite Your Motivation, and it's all about refueling and what's the other word? Well, anyway, it's refueling. And there's another word which I've forgotten. I shouldn't have mentioned it if I didn't remember it. Refill and refuel.
Refresh. Oh, okay, refuel.
I got it. Pardon?
I was thinking refresh.
And Leslie, we're gonna meet Leslie next week, and hopefully you'll be joining us, Natalie, as well. And
We'll see.
yes, yes. And what else can I say? Again, thank you so very much. And we are, well, I guess we're looking at, well, the June program is going to be coming out either today, tomorrow, very soon, because we're already in June. Oh my gosh. It just seems to me started May.
Yeah.
And again, thank you very much for the regulars like Norma and Trudy and, well, Rachel, she's part of the,
She can't get away from us.
can't run away. I don't know what happened to the rest of the group, but we got quality, and that's what we
It may be
wanted.
the weather, you know.
Yeah,
The weather's
we're gonna have
changing.
to go
Wave.
and do these talks next to the pool. Who has a pool?
Not
There's one
anymore.
There's one next door, but it's for the dogs. Doesn't work too well.
No.
I thank you again very much, and give us some news, Natalie, and we'll send all of the energies that we can your way.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Natalie. Thank you so much.
Hey, y'all have a great day.
Yes.
True.
You
We
too.
will. Oh, where's that? Where we can clap? Where's the clap? Where's the clapper?
Down in the reactions at the
There it
bottom.
is. There it is.
Oh, I don't see it.
Uh,
Oh, yes, I see it now. Reaction. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank
Have a
you,
great
everybody.
afternoon.
Yes, you people as well.
And everything is registered, as you know, so you can have a look at it, peek at it, and keep it for rainy days and all of these things.
Great.
I
Thanks,
saw you do business. Hi, Norma.
Thanks. Goodbye. We'll be on the Zoom tomorrow morning.
Yep, 9:30.
Bye.
Good
So long,
enough.
Claire.
Yes.
All is well with you, Claire?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
And
We'll
with
talk
you as
later.
well, I saw that you're getting busier and busier.
Yes,
Yeah. We'll have to have a chat.
we will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So long for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.